I think that it's one thing when people have secrets, like you have secrets. But for her, she is the secret. And when you are someone's secret, it's humiliating. This season, on Where Should We Begin?
As a kid, I always felt different outside. Both my parents were white, all my siblings are white, cousins are white, like everyone in my family is white, and then there was just me. I didn't understand why I looked different, just knew that I was. I go to a friend's house and everyone looks the same, and come to my house and I'm just like blob.
I'm not blob, I'm black, they're white. We delve into the ins and outs of love.
I'm actually not here to kind of let you just go and live out your other reality. It's time to either actually put the work into this and figure this out, or just go, so then I can go live my life.
Couples looking to open their relationship.
I guess there's a lot of questions that come with it. Do you need me to watch the kids while you go with the other guys?
Partners struggling to come out.
She still struggles with saying that she enjoys having sex with me. Like, no, I don't. I'm not attracted to you. I don't enjoy having sex with you. And I'm like, well, you're faking really good then.
The pandemic intensified long-standing feelings of anxiety, loss, and loneliness. But being too close or too far apart are themes that couples have struggled with long before lockdown.
Such a curiosity at the beginning when in the chat rooms. I loved getting to know other people. And even though there was a sexual component to it, I learned a lot about human behavior. I really did.
Mm-hmm. And what did you learn about you?
That I was likable.
I'm Esther Perel. Where Should We Begin returns on June 25th. Follow and listen for free on Spotify.
Click, listen, enjoy.
Wow, welcome back, guys. This is episode 10. I am your host, Erin, and you may have noticed something different. Something's going on and you're like, what? So this is not the Real Deal podcast anymore. This is Screw This podcast. This episode is what that's going to be about, like why I decide to rebrand, like what's the deal? So I had to answer 2 fundamental branding questions. What is a brand and how to brand? Now it is the time to learn about the process of rebranding and why I decided to rebrand. So the main reason why I decided to rebrand is because it's because of the fact of the legal side, and I noticed that there was already a podcast called The Real Deal Podcast, and it's a religious podcast, but it's a pretty good podcast. I'll give props to that. But it's just in the long haul, so if I wanted to make merch, I couldn't have my name or my podcast name branded because it's already taken. But because this is now the new show, the new name, it is now my own. It's my own now, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I am excited for this change. I hope you guys are too. What does rebranding mean? Rebranding is the reshaping, remodeling, and recreating of my podcast. Like, it's my trademark and it's my brand identity. It involves more than making a few changes to my established brand. I am basically restructuring this and making improved strategies, I cannot say that word. Okay, making improved tactics, and that will enrich my brand and create a closer bond. I cannot speak today. And this will in turn create a bond between myself and my listeners. I need to take a breath. Rebranding occurs when a business or an organization decides to change a significant element to the brand, such as the change could be really obvious, like a new brand name and a logo, and I did that, and I hope that you guys like it. Let me know. Or it might be more of a subtle touch, like a slight shift in messaging to the better communication of a more relevant brand promise. So I am promising good things for you guys. In a world where trend is constantly changing, everything is changing, we don't know how it's gonna, evolve. And it can be hard to maintain a modern image. Rebranding is an option that I often overlook because I just held on to my podcast name. It was like my baby. I wanted to have it. Then I took a step back and I was like, hang on. Everything happens for a reason, and I know that's so cliche, but I mean, if I didn't change my podcast name, I can make merch, I can do this, I can do this. So I had to basically just imagine why I wanted to make this change, because it's just overall better, because the look and feel of my brand fresh and current could be the key to keeping my brand at the top of my industry. Does my brand need a brand overhaul? I asked myself. So I determined if my podcast needed a brand refresh. So I had to ask myself these 3 questions. Why am I thinking about rebranding? What sort of changes am I considering? And has there been any changes to my podcast that will affect my rebranding? After I have answered these questions, I determined that my company and my brand and my podcast need a brand redesign. It is important to understand the benefits of why I made these changes, and you will find out why I made these changes after this quick break. And we're back. What are the top benefits of rebranding and why I decided to make this change? The first benefit is that I wanted to connect with a new audience, and the biggest advantage to a refreshing look and the feel of my brand and my podcast is the ability to reach new listeners. When you focus on new aspects of my brand and I promote them correctly, people will take notice. I noticed that as well, because whenever I first had my first episode, people were so excited for me and they couldn't wait to listen. So rebranding can offer that. Then the simulation of my business needs to create the new growth in an ever-evolving market. The second benefit is to set myself apart from my competitors. So there's thousands of podcasts out there. Spotify and Apple Podcasts has so much great content, okay? As my business grows and my capabilities begin to directly contend with those in my industry and my competitors, rebranding can be the most effective way to set my brand and my podcast offers an approach apart. So separating my brand shows potential listeners that my services and my content is unique and that I'm basically an expert, and I'm not just saying that just at a pure like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, but it just makes me aware of what I can do. And rebranding my podcast to have its own voice, look and feel will help that establish in my industry overall. Gives it a personality that appeals to my listeners and audience. The third top benefit is to stay current, okay? So rebranding has one simple goal: to keep my brand current. Design trends play a major role in how potential or current customers or listeners perceive my brand and what it has to offer. Ensuring that my look is always ahead of the curve shows that my listeners pay